suffering from a medical condition or affliction of any kind, well, listen up. There's a new book out from Reader's Digest about what to eat to beat disease. It's called Foods That Harm, Foods That Heal. And Courtney Smith is here with some amazing eating tips for most any ailment. Welcome to the show, my friend. Okay, so this book is laid out perfectly, everything from A to Z, from agave syrup to zucchinis. Well, why do people need to be more aware of what they're putting in their bodies?
Food is medicine, Michael. The things that we put into our body, the nutrients in food, can treat disease and everyday conditions at their root cause naturally. And we say this book is for people who want to go to the farm before the pharmacy. And at this point, we know enough that you really can individualize your diet for your needs. So this book walks you through what do you need to avoid and to add to your diet in order to get the maximum health benefits for your health goals.
I love it. The farm and not the pharmacy. Okay, so you don't just have a lot of food suggestions in the book. You have a lot of tips for different foods, too. Can you give me an example?
Well, for instance, carrots. People are under the impression that carrots are better raw, but when you cook carrots, it actually releases the beta-carotene from behind the thick cell walls, and it's actually okay to put a very small pat of butter, or you can use olive oil if you want something a little healthier, but having fat in the carrots actually helps your body absorb, adding fat rather to the carrots helps your body absorb that beta-carotene. So you're right that the book tells you what to eat, but we also try to give buying, cooking, and storing information for each food so that you can get the maximum nutrient benefits, because that's what's helping to maintain your health and prevent disease.
It is very informative. Okay, so whether it's gout or hay fever, you know, there are foods that work for you and foods that work against you, right? So how much research went into this book?
Well, we literally read through thousands of studies at Reader's Digest. We consulted with nutrition experts and fully updated this with the latest up-to-date nutrition information. So a lot of work went into it, but it's so important because we know so much more now about how food affects our body and how to individualize our diet in order to boost our health. And, you know, I want to mention we also uncovered some unhealthy foods that really everyone should avoid that I think are surprising, such as cured meats and energy drinks. You know, cured meats have been found to be linked to cardiovascular disease, cancer, migraine headaches. Energy drinks, the FDA has gotten reports that link some brands to heart attacks. So we want to look for healthier alternatives, more natural meats, and alternatives such as coffee and tea, which is a healthier way to wake up and get our caffeine.
Was there a food that really surprised you in a good way?
Absolutely. We found about a dozen superfoods that I think will really surprise people. Figs is one of those foods. Figs is a surprising source of calcium. You know, most fruits don't have that nutrient, and calcium is so key to building bones. And figs are really easy to eat. You don't have to peel them. You can just serve them with cheese or slice them into salad. And beets is another great one that we're hoping people will eat more of because it can sharpen your mind, because it boosts blood flow to the brain thanks to the high levels of nitric acid.
I'll work on beets, I promise, okay? So
grate them into salad, Michael.
Okay, duly noted. All right. So for a long time, I suffered from candida, and I practically cured all of my symptoms just from diet alone, just no medicine. So it's possible to be mindful of what you need to eat versus what you want to eat. Is that right?
That's correct. And I actually think reading a book like this is very motivating, you know, because you really learn how powerful food is. And I think anecdotes like yours are also a powerful reminder of this really does work for people. And you can look up, you know, conditions like candida in this book. You know, we have 100 conditions labeled from A to Z that make it really easy to look up. And I'm imagining you used foods loaded, you know, with probiotics like yogurt and that sort of thing.
I did.
And I do think that people are much more aware that, you know, what we're putting into our bodies, that processed food doesn't really give us a lot of nutrition, and foods that are high in nutrition can actually really help us improve health conditions.
Well, thanks, Courtney. It's Foods That Harm and Foods That Heal. Thanks, appreciate it. Let's throw things over to Michelle.